I was wrong about the Samsung Galaxy A54 5G. At least a little wrong anyway. So I'm not crazy about the whole Exynos thing, and I think most people buying it aren't. I've maybe I think was a little jaded after the A53. I really felt like the chipset in there was just not good. Like it was very very underwhelming. It made for a laggy experience. I didn't think it was all that great, especially for the 449 that they wanted for it. So when I saw that they had the A54 advertised for 449, another Exynos chip, yeah, it didn't give me a lot of warm fuzzies inside. And in fact, I didn't even buy it initially. Like it was something where I had some people reach out, I had some comments and people that were interested in it. So I went out and I bought it with my own money so that way I could make some videos for you guys. And I've had a pretty decent experience with it so far. I didn't expect it to be terrible. I mean, Samsung has the best displays, I think, in their phones. And what's great about this one is they don't skimp on it. They don't put a crappy screen in it. They don't put an LCD in it. It's not dim. It's actually a really nice display. And even using it outside, even with like super bright outside today with the sun, it even looks pretty darn good with the max brightness on, with the auto brightness, peak brightness, all that stuff. So when I first got it, I really was dreading it. I did not want to test out this phone, and maybe it's because I spend too much time with flagships. I mean, even testing out the Pixel 6a, right? I mean, it's got the Google Tensor chip in it, which is much more powerful than most of the normal mid-range, low budget phones. So I just wasn't crazy about testing out the Exynos 1380. So the Exynos 1380, it's 5 nanometer processor. It is more power efficient than last year's 1280, but I got to say, the battery life isn't as good as I would expect it to be. Now, just note of caution, it hasn't done the whole complete adaptive battery learning thing yet. I've been using it for 3 days, but I got to tell you, the day I got it, it was decent on charge already. I charged it up some, used it some, but on the first full charge, using it for 2 days, and I had this phone off the charger for 2 days. For me, it's not a 2 day phone, but for some of you guys and gals, let's just take a look at it real quick. I've had it off the charger, so taking a look at the battery stats, had it off the charger for 1 day and 20 hours. And I've used it screen on time 6 hours and 12 minutes. So I use that in a day on most phones. So like most phones, I usually like 8-9 hours screen on time a day. And I know that's a bit excessive for most folks. Probably not everybody is doing that, but I mean, I basically run a business here using my phone, right? I do tech reviews, I'm testing out phones. I'm always very, very like into the phone, using it all day. So this one, it's a 1 day battery for me. Now, if you don't use your phone for more than about 3-4 hours a day, it can be a 2 day phone for you. And I think that's probably where this phone is going to fall in place for a lot of people. This is a mid-range phone. It's not a flagship phone. I have to remind myself internally sometime, like, okay, get off your flagship high horse. Not everybody's buying $1,000, $1,200 phones like you are that you use for a daily driver. Can somebody use this as a daily driver? And I think the answer to that is very strong yes. I think that Samsung did a pretty good job here. I've been really impressed with the camera. I'm going to show you some camera samples here, and I was really impressed. Now, I had read some other stuff people had written saying the camera was okay, but it actually makes the photos look a little bit better. And how does it do that? Well, it does that because, well, it oversaturates them. But it looks beautiful. Like if you look at the greens, the blues, and the reds, you take a look at the Supra in this picture, you take a look at some of the flower stuff. Gosh darn, it looks magnificent. Like it reminds me almost of kind of like the S8 and S9 days and the Note 10 where everything was just way more saturated. They've kind of brought back the vibrancy, and they've not had some of the flagship ones trying not so saturated, trying to make them look more realistic, because I think there was a certain amount of criticism there. But man, I was really impressed with the photos that I took. And I think that if you want this phone and you want to take just normal photos here and there, normal day-to-day stuff, you're not trying to win awards on National Geographic, right? Then you're going to be happy with it, especially in good lighting. Now, low lighting might be a different story. I'm going to get more into that on my full review. This is not my full review. I haven't had it that long, but I wanted to get out there and have a conversation about this because I expected the camera to be worse. I expected the overall performance to be worse. Now, don't get me wrong. It still has a hitch there and a hitch over here whenever you're trying to do some stuff. It's not a multitasking phone, but I don't think most people are switching back and forth and using as many apps at the same time as I am. So if you're just a normal person, like you wake up in the morning, you put your pants on one leg at a time, you tie your shoes like you're a relatively prudent person, and you're not just living in this electronic fan world like I am, where you're a tech enthusiast and you're just continually going after the latest and greatest. I think for most people, it could be a good phone. And so when you look at it from that context, like I'm not crazy about the $449 price tag. Now, I think that it's got a lot of good things going for it, but I think that when you take a look at the fact that it's got a plastic body, it doesn't have a Snapdragon processor, it doesn't have the latest and greatest in it, it's got a good collage and complementary set of things in it, I think it's a $399 phone. But here's the beautiful thing about Samsung. I can pretty much guarantee you the price is going to drop very quickly on this. There will be good incentives. There will be good carrier deals if you can get it through a carrier. So if you could get this phone for free on a carrier deal, if you can trade it in an older phone, get a couple $100 trade-in credit for it, and pay $100, $200 out the door, you're going to love this phone. And I think this phone could be good for you for a long time. And the great thing is it falls under the Samsung software stuff where you get 4 years of operating system updates and 5 years of security patches. That's really good for a $400 phone. So I think $449, I don't think it's the end of the world. But if you look at it from okay, I'm buying a phone, I'm using it for 3 or 4 years, that's a pretty good investment, because you're basically looking at, like, if you use this phone for 4 years, basically about $110 a year. That's like, what, $7 a month effectively investment on this phone? And please forgive me if that's wrong, but I'm not good at doing math in public. I'm just spitballing this off the top of my head. Less than $10 a month. So I think that's pretty good. I think there's enough going on here. I think they made it look really premium. And it's funny because Samsung, they do make their stuff look pretty premium, but when you start getting down into the lower tier phones, mid-tier phones, there's always some trade-offs, right? There's always some cost cuts here. There's always some material cost cuts and things like that. This one looks nice. So it's got Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and the back. It's got a plastic frame. And the plastic frame, I don't mind plastic frames. I think they can shave some of the weight off, and they are pretty durable. So I think that there's not a whole lot of problems there. I think folks get snobby when it comes to plastic, when it's like, if you're paying $1,000, you really don't want a plastic body on your phone. I think we can probably universally agree on that. $400 phone, if it looks good, if it's built well, I think that it's perfectly fine. And actually, I think it saved something on my phone. I made a video, said don't make the same mistake I do, because I didn't get a screen protector in a case the day that I bought mine. So yesterday I was out and I went to go shoot some B-roll, which, if B-roll is the terminology, like overlay footage. So I shot some fancy like panning footage for this e-bike video I'm doing, and I sat down and it was in my pocket. Normally I don't put phones in my pocket till after I have a screen protector in a case. I just wasn't thinking, went outside. I was in a hurry trying to get something because the weather wasn't that great and I needed my son to help me. So I sat down. It just shot right out of my pocket, landed on the concrete. And I got this real nice scuff on the bottom of it here. Like, it's hard to see with the focus, but it's dinged up pretty good down there. However, the glass is still fine. No cracks at all. And I think that that's really good. And I think we're at a metal phone, we might be having a different story, because the metal kind of transfers that energy a little bit more around. Plastic absorbs better than metal does, I think, when it comes to shock absorption. So had this been a aluminum body, it might have caused some more damage. Like, it probably wouldn't have damaged the frame as much, but that energy transfer might have gone to the glass and cracked it or caused some other problems. So I think good deal there. It's interesting. It has the SIM card tray up top, which I haven't seen that in quite a while. It has stereo speakers. It has a beautiful screen, 120 hertz refresh rate, 1080p, 6.4 inch screen. I think they're really onto something. I really like the 6.4, 6.5 inch screens. This, I think, is a really good size. There's a lot of people that don't want an Ultra with a 6.8 inch screen. They don't want these big phones that have 6.7, 6.8 inch screens. You want something that has a big enough landscape so you can enjoy it for multimedia. You can do some gaming. I mean, you can play PUBG on here on lower settings. You can play Call of Duty Mobile on here on lower settings. So you can do a lot of that stuff. You can do some gaming on here. I wouldn't buy this if that's primarily what you want it for. You want something with some more horsepower. But I think it's a really good screen, especially for the lower cost. That's one thing I said about the A53. I said, this phone, everything's built around the screen. And Samsung's onto something. the biggest thing people do now is they look at their screens. They look at their screens and they like their selfie cameras because they can shoot their videos, the short form stuff, or TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, all that stuff. So I've been impressed with the camera. Even I think the portrait shot that I took was pretty darn good with this. So the cameras impressed me. The screen impressed me. The battery life is okay. Like, it's good that it has a 5,000 milliamp battery, but it's only 25 watt charging. It's a little on the slow side for charging, but it's going to get you through the day. So if it gets you all the way through the day, you're charging at night. It's not that big of a deal, right? So I think there's enough good things going on here. I think if you're interested in picking one up, I think that it can be a good long-term investment. 3-4 years, I think, is reasonable. I think the processor maybe might be the biggest limiting factor here, meaning that might be what holds it back in the long run because it's not the most powerful. Like, it's got enough power to do pretty much whatever you need it to do, but it might start feeling sluggish around probably year 3. But definitely 1 year, 2 years, this is going to be a good phone. I think the cameras are better than I thought they were going to be. And the overall experience has been pretty darn pleasant, and you can get some cheap accessories for it as well. I got some links for those in the description if you want some recommendations. And yeah, that's why I wanted to come here and say I was kind of wrong about it. I prejudged it based off my experience last year with the A53. I just really wasn't that interested in it. The phone didn't excite me. I wasn't crazy about having another Exynos chip in here. I hoped it would be like a mid-level Snapdragon, but it's been a good enough experience. There's been some key things here that have really, really surprised me, and I think make for a really pleasant experience if you're interested in picking one up. So, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this one up for now. I'll have my full review down the road. I'm gonna do some more extensive stuff. I'm gonna do some more testing between other phones. I've actually got a camera comparison video coming up between this one and the S23 Plus. Yes, you can see how good this stacks up against the S23 Plus in just a few days. So, what does that mean? Be sure you hit the like and the subscribe button and the notification bell with all notifications so you know when that video comes out, you can come back and watch it. And also, there's a video right here you can watch if you want to check out another one and go see my big mistake on how I dropped this and I messed it up. But also, in that video, I talked a lot about different cases and different accessories, especially the screen protector I recommend for $7.99. Go check that one out. So that's all I got in this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you've got one, if you've got some feedback on it, please go to the comment section. Everybody always loves to hear experiences from other users who have one. And as always, you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, all that crazy stuff. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means a lot to me. Thank you for the support. I'll see you guys next time.